Again, my name is Koastal. I am one of the owners here at TMC Orlando. My main function here is I deal with the operations of the company. So day-to-day operations, marketing, logistics, most of the meetings and strategic partnerships. That's what my job is. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about marketing. And you'll find that marketing consists of a lot of different things. So we'll jump into those sub pockets of content, advertisements, and influencer stuff, the whole nine. So, Bob, could you scroll up a little bit? No, to the top. So, oh shit, that is the top. So this is, it's up here. Yeah. So this is our TMC channel. So we can start first by, if you haven't already, pull out your phones, make sure you subscribe to the channel, right?
I'm already subscribed.
You see what I'm saying? That's, make sure you subscribe. But a main thing that we do here, yes, we are a recording studio, but we're also a content space as well. We also do marketing across different industries. So what you guys see here literally is only one fraction of what our company is. On our YouTube channel, you'll see like the goofy vlog style stuff that we do, but you'll also see like in studio type of content that we do. This promotes only our recording studio. This doesn't promote us as content creators. This doesn't promote us as marketers. This is just what I use to get the brand recognition out there. So some of these videos, you'll see a lot of the views fluctuate, and we'll talk about that. Because consistency with posting, but then also hitting the moments of times are really important when you're thinking about content, right? So what do I mean by that? Utopia full album reaction. We did that, was that the same night it came out?
I think it dropped like the next day.
So it dropped at midnight, we did the reaction live time, and then we just uploaded it the next day. And that's, I think, one of our, if not the highest video, 16K views. That's very simple. If you're doing content for social media and you see something, somebody just dropped the album, single just dropped, beef's happening, and you do a reaction video to it and do like pretty much, because what are people going to be searching that night? Utopia full album. That's what they're looking for on YouTube, literally that night. So all you got to do is just put whatever the main thing is, the single name, and then reaction right after. You don't got to do nothing too crazy. Now, if it's like one of those buzzword things, like where you're talking about beef or you're talking about the Drake and Kendrick thing, you could pull those into there, but 9 times out of 10, just gotta follow a very simple rule. Timing, it has to be up in a good time. Could you go to the Red Ruby the Sleaze one, which should be somewhere down here or somewhere? Where's Red Ruby?
Oh.
Is there one more
Is this
after?
one?
It might be another one, because that's the little, or we might have changed the titles. Okay, so that might be it, because I think we might have changed. Oh no, here it is. All right, Red Ruby the Sleaze. Until.
I tried to play.
Oh.
Well,
Okay, so Red Ruby the Sleaze. So when this came out, I said that this was the best rap song that we heard in whatever year this was. Was it 23 or 24? 2023.
It's 23.
Yeah, 2023, when it came out at the time, the best rap song, whatever the case is. If you know anything about Nicki, Beyonce, those are kind of like the biggest ones. What do they have? They have their beehives, they have their barbs. And so when you're talking about something that's so fresh as like, especially like if you heard the song, you know it's a hot song. It's definitely a hot song. I was the only one really fucking with it. Everybody else was on there was just calling me a barb. But if you look in the comments, everybody is agreeing with what I'm saying in there and talking shit about these two in there. Again, it's just a timing thing. And if you know that they have like little pockets. 1.5 actually really got us to do the reactions. I love shooting content. I hate being in content now because it's just like, I don't know. I just don't like doing it as much anymore. But it's very important. Can you scroll back up? So, as artists, a lot of you guys are artists in some form or fashion. So you're gonna obviously need more than YouTube. Like I said, I use YouTube for branding, like brand awareness. When you create a YouTube ad, first you need to be able to have a Google business to be able to do that. And if you, let's say you put $20, $50 into it, yes, you're gonna have a reach on it, but essentially you're paying for real views, right? And if you don't put a target marketing behind it, anybody can see it on any type of video. So I always use the saying that like, there's no reason I should have 100% ground beef burgers being advertised to vegans.
Right.
It's going to be a waste of a view. It's a waste of an ad dollar. You're going to skip it and you're not going to click the link. You're not going to buy the product.
I'm not interested.
You're not interested.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't even make sense for that type of advertisement to go across. So then what do we do for our studio stuff? All my advertisements on YouTube for our studio come up only under Type Beats.
Yeah.
And they only come up in Orlando area. Why? Because if you look it up Type Beat, what are you probably about to do? You probably about to make a song, you about to record a song, you about to write a song, you about to do something with a song in this area. And if you look it up Type Beats in this area, I already got you, right? Because yes, you have that advertisement space right there. But who's clicking on an advertisement on YouTube to go book a studio time?
Right.
Especially right before Type Beat. You not. But what you can do is, could you on there pull up the web browser and could you look up Orlando Recording Studio? Now this is not my device. This is Ari's device. So I don't know how well it's gonna do. It would be really great if we're just like right there at the top, right? Hit more places. Oh my God. Okay, boom. So,
Yeah.
what you can do is, if you're seen there, right? So I use this because I used to be in politics. And in politics, when you're trying to get a vote, they say you have to have 7 touch points.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, before somebody will commit to voting for you, they have to engage with you, your brand, in some way, shape, or form at least 7 times. So I kind of take that same idea with the branding here. Because yes, you're going to skip past it. But when you go and look and you see that it's one of the top ones, you see that it has really good reviews, you see that it's 24 hours, you're probably going to call it. You know what I mean? You're probably going to call the studio. And then that just goes to making sure you have a tough sales team that's always going to answer the phone.
My bad.
You're good.
So you said they need 7 ways to engage with. So that's 7 different like whys, basically. Or is it
7
just
different
seeing it
ways.
7 times?
Seeing it different 7 times. So as it relates to the voters.
Yeah.
So that can be seeing you at a forum. That could be you door knocking. That could be you calling them. That could be a mailer. That could be there's just touch points. It's not necessarily have to be in person or digital. You could put a billboard up in a centralized community and consider that a touch point, so long as they see it. I'll kind of dive into it a little bit more how we can touch on touch points as it relates to artists. So, and if y'all have any questions while we go through it, feel free to ask because I just flow with it. I don't really.
Only one thing I peeped.
Yeah.
You seen that was 24 hours?
Yeah.
You should update it on the thing because it says it closes at 6.
So I changed this. So I changed this because it says we close at 5:59, but then it says we open at 6 a.m. So I do that because I have people who call me at 4 or 5 in the morning and bullshit me. So at 4 or 5 in the morning, if it shows that we're closing soon, they're only the more serious people are calling me. And I literally keep my phone on me 24/7, on 24/7. Like very rarely do I miss calls. And so that's just a way for me to cycle out people who bullshit at 4 in the morning. Because you know how many drunk people come here? I've had people come in here so lit from the club that they booked 2 hours and literally I play music and they slept the entire time. And as easy as money that is, right? That's not what I'm here for.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And that's not what you're here for. So if I'm booking you every day at 4 knowing you come in here to sleep, like that, I'm doing you a disservice, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nah, that's not, So, but I do that. That's why it's like that. But yeah. Can you click on this spot? So the difference in ads, there's a couple of different type of ads. And if you're an artist or a brand, the only thing I would tell you guys to stay into is smart ads when you're starting off. Here's why. In Google, you have a number of ways that you can set up ads, but a lot of the ways that you set them up are pretty much like cost per. So if I have an advertisement at the top of here, let's say if I say, I'm going to pay $5 for a solid lead, and I make sure that I'm here, and you click on this, I just spent like $5 literally just came out of my account right now type of deal. And whatever my budget is, it's also deducted from there. Now, if you have smart ads, it pretty much gives you a budget that you'll use for the month, and it will average it out for that entire time. So you can click on it 100 times a day. It doesn't matter. It's still going to be there when you search it. Fun thing for your competitors. A lot of your competitors don't have this information. Go click on their shit 7 times in a day. It's gone. I swear to you, it's gone. If I won't do it to none of the studios. But I won't do it to none of the studios. But it's an ads game. It's an ads game. So your dollars can either work for you or they can work against you. In a lot of those cases, they're working against you, especially if you're not doing target marketing. But also in your own field, you have to know how competitive that field is as well. Because in a market, if like this is again just studio stuff, we don't market the marketing stuff. Because in marketing fields, guess what? They know those tricks. You don't think they have somebody in there, and I'm an intern that just go click on these top ads and just make sure that our sponsorship remains while they're still doubling up on their ads each and every month. So smart ads is the way to go. Unless you have a business or a brand, you're pretty much going to be using Google Businesses for YouTube advertisements. But if you have a brand, that is definitely something to know. Whether you have a remote brand, you have a physical location, they have these mailboxes that you can rent out now in places so that you can do this and that you can run effective ads on here. If you don't have a physical location, get a PO box or one of those like business mailing addresses that work as a suite number that you can use. So then when you do that, you can put that onto Google Businesses and you have a lot more power to create advertisements and reach customers through there. Where do I want to go? Fab, this is Ari's device, right?
Yeah.
Go to your website. So TMC started in 2022, May of 2022. And we started out of a satellite office at Studio 18. And from there, we moved out of there in October of 22, opened up this side, and then opened up B side in October of 23. Fab, when did we start partnering?
February of last year.
February of 23. So when Fab came to me, Fab was like, a little angel that fall out the sky. So I'm used to producing content at a very high quality in Delaware, working with like the politician stuff. So when I come here and I'm looking for something, I knew the visual, like how it looked. I knew exactly how it needed to look. And we did interviews with so many different videographers, so many different editors. And not that they weren't good, but just like you have to think about where they're at, the investment and energy that you have to put into them in order to get to where we're trying to be, and then the level of work that we're willing to put in together to continuously grow, but also push the needle forward. And Fab was just, without a doubt, one of the best fits for that. And the reason is because scroll down. So the reason is he has a very good hustle. Fab was already producing content, videos, tracks before he and I met. However, once we met, our motto for the first year was we're going corporate. You know what I mean? And that's the type of energy that we took into everything. So yes, he was used to shooting things, but we put a focus on putting ourselves in situations where we don't know shit and we have to still produce. So by doing that, we're in rooms with magazines. Like we go into a magazine meeting and they're looking for a marketer. So we get there, Fab has his computer and he's like, you have a presentation. And I'm like, what the fuck are we here? Like I'm in jeans, my pants is a little, I'm not prepared for this at all. But we just ran through it like it was normal. All we did was hook up our computer, go to our websites, point to a couple of things, and just talk the shit that we regularly know. And we had it, but I was fucking with him. I was like, Fab, like, I'm not doing it. You got to do it. And Fab hates talking in front of people. Like he hates doing it, especially when we're in the business meeting. So I'm like, yo, bro, you got to do it. And so all the way up until the setup, like right when we plugged it in, I was like, all right, I got it. And then we took care of it and we handled business in there. But it puts us in rooms like magazines. We did stuff with Brightline, tree companies, spas. We had people fly us up to Delaware so we did stuff on the governor's race, the mayor's race. He's flying back up next week to work on the Congress race. So we do stuff with the politicians there. We just got back from Atlanta. We did like media for Mixnick out there, which was an engineering event. So when you do marketing, if you are willing to study and learn across different fields, you won't be limited by like just one set industry. And that's what makes TMC different, right? Because yes, we're a recording studio, but if nobody books for the next week, there's a number of people who don't even care about music who are coming to us, using us for those things. And that goes to what I'm going to wrap us up to. Fab, can you pull up a Monopoly board for me? It's going to make sense. Watch this. You know what it is. Watch this. So, if there's anything I can teach you or anything that I learned about the game, right? This is essentially what it is. TMC, and you can apply it to your own brand, your own self. You have to be that one-stop shop, right? So, if you think about these different colors, let's just label them. Let's say this is pre-production. Let's say this is production. Let's say this is, so pre-production, production, post-production services, auxiliary services, and we'll just add some extra shit, right? If I'm only a studio, I'm only catching you when you track and mix and mastering as a creative. So let's think of this creative board. The creative experience, this is a Monopoly board. If I'm only tracking, mix, and mastering, how long does it take y'all to track songs? You might say you're going to work on a project, be in the studio for the next month, and then we won't see you for another season or two. You get what I'm saying? You might not even mix and master it for real. You know how many people come in here and just release their music? Like, they won't mix and master it. So if that's the case, I'm fucked for the year. This for a studio, this is less than $25,000 for the year. If you're only making yourself available for this is less than $25,000 for the year. But then if you start saying, all right, we do, so we have video services in here. So you can, for as big as a music video, to a lyric video, to a podcast video, right? And you can either pay us to do it or you can bring your own team in. But all of it is promotion for your project, your song, your album, whatever you have going out.
And it promotes the business.
Say that again?
And it promotes the business.
And it promotes the business, yeah. Because when people see you in a certain room or see certain backgrounds, like we don't have to only record content at this for people to know that, oh, you're here. You know what I mean? So when people start to see it, or even his logo in the bottom of it, they'll kind of associate quality with branding too. So like, we'll touch on that. But production stuff. We also do websites, we do graphics, we do marketing, right? So essentially what you have to do is you have to make your business and your brand fit to the Monopoly board within your industry, right? So if you want to be an artist, you need to have the songs that you're going to distribute. You need to have people paying you for interviews. You need to have your merchandise, right? You need to have different pockets that are set up, streams for you to make money, to where every time someone's thinking about an artist, you're like, all right, you want to book me for a show? All right, well, you're paying for me to come perform, but I can take off this much if you let me have a vendor table for my merch here. Whole time I'm going to have my marketing team here, and they're going to come around with QR codes, so you're scanning, and then you're listening to my music, or you're taking this stuff home with you. Yo, you see him on stage, this is his album if you want to listen to it when you leave, right? You gotta think about the 7 streams. Average millionaires have 7 streams of income. And it's not to say go start 7 different businesses. Start one business and do it really fucking good. Because in some instances, I'm companies' whole marketing departments, and there's instances I work with Jay on something right now. I am support in the sense of Jay gives me my tasks for the week, and I have to do those tasks. And at the end of the week, I come to Jay and tell her, did I do these tasks? Like she was texting me today. She was like, hey, can you do this? I said, you're going to see me tonight. So if I say no, and she's like, I'm not going to cook, but you know what I mean? So, but Jay is very solid. She's going to be speaking tonight too. But you can work in many different ways. You can be, you know, running the whole show as the marketers, or you can be support. But if you, for yourself, how you apply it to yourself, hire yourself a dope marketing team, or you have to learn it. Every overnight success does take 10 to 15 years. I truly believe that. It takes 10 to 15 years. And you can't do it if you're trying to be the artist. I don't care what nobody says. You cannot be the artist, the engineer, the producer, the marketer. You can't. You can't. And not because you're not talented in all those different rights. It's just like the best capital in the world is social capital. It's not how much money you have. It don't matter. It's who you know. Kanye should really show y'all that if y'all don't know. He had billions of dollars. It wasn't about what he had at that time. It was about who he knew. And who he knew was not powerful, then who was he against in that instance? And that's why all that shit that you seen happen to him, it was able to. No amount of money could save him. So social capital, not just regular capital. People are your best net worth. Any questions? Comments?
What would you say for the musicians in the room are the main things that they should be focusing on when building that like diversity of income?
Main thing to focus on when you're
Like, what are the things that artists should be working on so that they can be making more money in different arenas and not just through their music? What are the things that they should be focusing on?
Overall branding, like what do you want people to think when they hear your name? So when I go into a room and say, do y'all know Flair? Right? For the people who say yes, what feeling do you want that to invoke? Right? What is connected to that? And when you do that, that's how you start dealing with like, okay, so what does the merch look like? So let's say you want people to feel empowered when they hear your music and your name, right? So then let's say if the merch is something around empowerment quotes or things along those lines. So now the Flair line is inspirational quotes that he says to himself every morning or lyrics from his song that are just on a shirt. So now part of that branding, I'm going to continue to be like this in my music. I'm going to practice what I preach, but I'm also going to put it on t-shirt and just consistency, because you can have all of those things set up, but if your brand's not consistent, it's just going to be all disconnected. Like this month it might make you $100. The next 3 months it might make you nothing. But when you're consistent with the branding, then I think more things will flow. So to circle back, when trying, like, what's the main thing to focus on? Brand consistency is definitely the main thing to focus on, because you don't need a whole bunch of money to buy t-shirts. It's 2024. You can literally make the designs on a website, pay $20 to get your test samples, and then never have to touch product again. Integrate it to your website. People go there and buy it. It ships directly from them, and you get a royalty. And you never have to touch the product. And you never have to buy the shirt. You never have overstock. Right. So everything in our merch store on TMC site, we never touch. We just tested out some samples, and if you buy it, it comes from another company, and we'll get a royalty check. So, yeah.
I wanted to ask, how would you like if you're doing multiple different types of content, how would you separate it out where it's not clashing? Because I understand that on like social media, say if you're posting racing videos or you put your music on racing videos, if people start to like that and it goes viral and you start posting videos of you just doing music videos, they came there for the racing videos, not gonna stay. So I do like weed reviews. I have a clothing brand. I make music. Yeah. I work out a lot. I work out 6 days out of the week, so I try to make a page for that because some of those videos actually do a lot of numbers, and that's just something I'm doing anyway. So why not? And I was wondering, like, how would you go about putting it out? Like, should I have a separate Instagram for all of those, or
could you pull up Instagram on there? I don't know if it's. You can just go.
You got a
Instagram in there.
And YouTube too.
So I'll answer the one for Instagram first, and then remind me because I might get stuck in that conversation, that rabbit hole, and then I'll go back to the YouTube one.
Additional side cam.
Yes.
Am I allowed to hit this?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Is it normally?
Yeah, because it's not iPhone. I mean, this is.
Oh,
it can get this bigger, but it's not too bad.
You can click on TMC if you want.
So you do like everything
Perfect.
on your personal page?
On my personal page, I post everything, but I do have a special page for just my music.
Okay.
Page. I didn't make one for the weed streams yet. I have one on YouTube though.
So,
Production and clothing.
so to answer your question, how can you break it down? Should you create a whole bunch of Instagram pages for each different thing? So my first piece of advice would be to look at the core of each of those things. And if they don't align with each other, then yes, they need to be separate. Brand consistency. Is it consistent with the brand? Right? Though you're doing different things, Mr. Beast gives away 100 houses and then tries to blow up 10,000 cars with a train. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's
Yeah,
like
but-
people, like it's, so I say that to say, watch. So I say that to say, if it's not consistent with the brand, then yes, you can separate off. Because yes, he does that, but he does also have his Mr. Beast gaming channel, Mr. Beast philanthropy channel. He has all of his channels in different languages, right? But Instagram gives you ways to be able to separate all this. So what you could do is you could have the main things of your page right here on here, and none of your reels have to show on here. You can right click on any of these reels and remove them from this feed, but they'll only show up on your right side. So when you click here, so this is your reels feed. This is only your reels. You can make all your reels stick to here. So when you're creating reels, this can only be your clothing stuff.
Mhm.
Everything with clothing, everything with music goes into the reels folder. And then they'll just sit here. Let's say your photos or your workout, your motivational stuff, the more personal side of you would probably sit right here. And then obviously we don't control our tags, but having them on or having them off, what are you out doing? I like having the tags on because if you out and you active, it's going to show in your tags. It's going to show that, hey, you were here, there, or in between, to where it's like, that's how people subtly, I don't care what nobody says, everybody will click on it because they want to see who your network is.
Mhm.
And they want to see who's tagging you and what are you doing. That's the same reason for these pins. If you click on this one, Leslie's telling, one of the top engineers in the game is telling people to record here and that he likes the studio here. If you go back 5. If you go here, this is what I next want you to focus on. I want you to focus on free game all week type shit, you know what I mean? Come learn some stuff. And then our biggest partnership yet, I think, which was Mixnick 2024. So, which these all can, as you know, can change out. They will, depending on what's coming up or what's to come. So start at the very baseline. Is there brand consistency amongst them? If the answer is no, it's fine. Then yes, maybe it needs to be a separate page.
I mean, I guess it kind of can because I rap about weed a lot. I rap about being in the gym, and being in the gym is just part of my lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then the clothing, I wear a lot of my clothing for music videos.
Can you pull up Wiz Khalifa's Instagram?
Wiz Khalifa is actually a lot of my inspiration for that.
Wiz smokes. Wiz work out.
Mhm.
Wiz promotes
That's-
merch on this thing. If you look, we're about to go because you go see. There he goes smoking. Go down. He's gonna have some working out in his drawer somewhere. Right? So
Speedo.
you see what I'm saying? You have him there working out, so you got him smoking, and then wear those dumbass glasses right here. Fucking what's the dude, the alien from American Dad? You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah,
But
I think
it's like it's Wiz. Like this is who he like, and now we're obviously in a. If you grew up on Wiz, I grew up on Wiz, so we're watching the evolution of him, like already into fatherhood, adult life, health is wealth kind of type of vibe, doing weird shit, dropping random music. Like that's where he's at right now. But it's consistent with his brand. When you listen to his music, what does he talk about? He talks about smoking weed, lavish shit, and that's the same thing you get there. So but what I will say is if you're doing working out and then you're doing weed reviews, you're going to definitely have a lot of trolls, just fitness gurus or whoever's online who gonna talk about the contradictions in there. That's why you have to go back to the baseline.
Michael Phelps was smoking.
Michael Phelps was smoking and got faster, yeah.
And,
He got fast.
Yeah.
Shikari.
and to that point too, like every time, like on my page, every time like I have like a new project or a new thing I'm promoting, I have to like restructure my whole Instagram, like to kind of do it. So I archive a lot of my stuff, and then like the pins, bro. Like that's like the biggest thing I would say, like, because I'll pin like, all right, we got an album coming out. I would pin these 3 things. This is the main things you need to look at when you go to my page. because it's like an ever evolving thing, you know. So I definitely think he said.
But you also could utilize your highlights too.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
KK obviously Khalifa Kush, right? He has his music, tour stuff, videos. I have no idea what this, but do you have it? You have so you can use your one page to promote all the things that you want. But again, you have to just ask yourself: is it consistent? Do I
Was
want
that
the
a TV
people?
show? Oh, merch.
So is there merch drops? You see what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
there's his merch. So if you have, and KK obviously his own weed brand too. So if you have a whole bunch of things that you're doing and people know you for touching all these different industries, look, it's just gonna be him smoking all the time. And you know, and guess what? Everybody who clicks on that is super, you know what I mean? He's because you know Instagram does pay you for real views. So as long as you set up in your business suites or
How many
go
views
to-
do you have to get to start getting paid?
Not a lot.
So to get paid a lot, you do need a lot of views. However, I mean, I randomly got like a $80 check off of Facebook.
So it can
I
be
mean,
like
over
one
there.
reel, like it doesn't have to be like
No, so it's
consistent?
so how they do it is how they used to do it was you have a certain amount of months to hit a total number of views, and then you get paid from that. Now how they have it is you can there are brands who submit in there, and you could apply in each of those to do something specific for that brand review, and then if they choose you for there, they'll pay you whatever the agreed rate is in there. Yeah, this is not my account. I can't just start going and click around to see how that works, or to show you how that works. But click on the profile picture right there. Fuck.
For me? Oh,
Yeah.
y'all gonna be looking at my shit?
No, we're not. Well, we're not gonna go deep into it. We're just gonna go. So if you go here, if you go to your professional dashboard, you don't gotta click it. File everything in the professional dashboard. In there will tell you, and it'll have
Go follow me.
ads. Yeah, the whole nine. Follower. Yes.
So how did you come up with your logo? Did you use AI? Did you have an artist? Did you come up with it?
So we came up with the logo. So this isn't our first logo. Our first logo we just designed in Canva. This logo, Anna's cousin, she's into graphic design, and she came down to intern with us while she was finishing up school, and this was her first task. And we told her we wanted it to kind of give bar nightlife, like how if you were to go down the street at midnight, what's that sign that you would see, and kind of incorporate everything in there. And yeah, that's how we came up with that. We have talked about in doing other renditions of the logos, so just the logo itself. So when we do different types of merch, so you have the logo, you have the words, what's going to show up on different platforms or how it shows up.
You guys have a slogan or a statement?
So our mission statement is to connect creatives to resources to enhance their creative process. So from day one, that's been our mission of what we want to accomplish. So we do that through events. We do that through, I believe, making studio with analog gear more affordable. I think most studios with analog gear are starting at least 65, maybe 80, depending on where you're at or where studios you go to. Making those affordable, and then also every chance that we've had to elevate, we've also done things for the creative community. So part of Mixnick, when I was negotiating with them, I need a whole bunch of tickets to give away to Orlando. And you saw people from Orlando, you saw people that we knew from Delaware there. So it's just things like that. So I think that answered the question. Did I answer the question?
Yeah.
All right.
You snap.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Yes, sir.
I think, and I'm older than everybody in the room, so I think the most important thing that I tried to do is get people to know who I am. And that is, for me, when I see social media, I'm going, it's like when we were kids. You know, when I was a kid, y'all weren't born. But when I was a kid, we all went to the park.
You gotta get
Some
out of
some
the
people had
house.
played handball, some played basketballs.
Yeah.
They had the radio go. That was my social media.
Yeah.
So we know, oh, this guy, he likes to dance. Oh, this one's a really good handball player. Oh, this one really play ball.
Yeah.
So we know. But I look at this as the park.
Tight.
So they're gonna click on me. Who is this guy?
Yeah.
And now I'm introducing who I am.
Yeah.
And what happens is I wind up getting people. And here's the other thing that I get sick that artists do, and it pisses me off, that they'll do something, but they're playing Beyonce's music.
Yeah.
And I'm going, yo, you got your own music, play your own shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's your commercial.
Yeah.
Because you may be playing, I'll go, damn, what is that? That's dope. What is that?
Yeah.
Now it comes up at the top. Now I'm gonna click and go listen to that song.
Yeah.
So if you look at TV, regular TV, you see McDonald's commercials, Coca-Cola commercials. They just keep going. Well, why don't we do the same thing? Just keep hitting people over the head.
Yeah.
Because one day some people not like it, they may not get to it. And then one day you do a thing and they go, damn, I kind of like that song.
Yeah.
And that's what happens with me a lot.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of people, and I just keep playing my music.
Yeah.
And eventually somebody gonna click on it and clicks on it. So
Two,
it's
two,
being repetitive.
two parts that he said.
That's what the radio
Right.
does. That's what people do for the radio is try to get their earworm effect. And it's so funny.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that true, but with one of my songs, Like They Should, for like, I work out 6 days out of the week. I would work out every day and record a video of me doing one of the sets and just put my song in the background.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I swear, like 3 months later, I'm like, people probably getting tired of this, but I was still doing it.
No.
'Cause I didn't
Yeah.
care. People started hitting me up like, yo, I'm learning the lyrics to the song. Bro, I like this song. This song's hard. I'm like, I didn't even think this person paid attention, but it was like, he posting it
That's
every
my
day and
point.
really
I heard a
good.
song yesterday and asked for it, and then immediately looked up the next concert, like October London. I just got put onto him yesterday,
Mhm.
and then look the next time he's going to be in the area type. Like when people like something, they'll pay for it. You know what I mean? And they'll find out how they can support it.
And to that point, like you gotta think about like what people say, like people live their lives to Instagram. Like people will check it every single day.
Yeah.
So if you're playing your song and they look at your story every single day,
Yeah.
even if it's like 3 seconds of your shit, they're gonna be like, next thing you know, they mouthing your shit.
Type
Mhm.
shit.
And if they see it
Yeah.
out, you know, and they hear that, they gonna just activate like,
Yeah.
unknowingly. So
Yeah.
I'll give you a perfect example. I was in Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm walking through and I'm seeing these two young girls, they probably in their 20s. And they're looking. And then they came over and said, you got that song? And they start singing my song. And I went, oh shit. You know? I said, how you know? Oh, we see you on Instagram and we really like that song. And then now I'm listening to we just start. So it happens. Don't get discouraged because you feel like nobody. No, people are listening.
Yeah.
You just got to keep doing the commercial every day. Don't say, "Oh, they're getting tired." No, beat them over the head with it.
There was
And if there's 20 people, that's 20 people that know 50 people.
Right.
You know, so it's
Yeah.
like they're gonna post on their story and it's gonna continue to grow.
Yeah, I feel
Um,
like that's one of my issues. Like when I do ads on Instagram, like I feel like my target audience is not on the list, and I don't know if I should like lower like the audience. I feel like I'm going to different people. Like there's not a name for it, and I feel like that's one of my issues. with,
So
like, branding
when you're
myself.
in like Meta and stuff like that, I definitely recommend doing it on your desktop first, just because there are more options when it comes to
Like,
putting
turn
your target audience together. But you said you feel like you're being too broad with it. Is that what you? Yeah. So like when you are figuring out who your audience is, it can't be everybody. It
Right.
just can't be everybody. You do have to get really, really specific about it. But those things might not be like exactly what you think. Like in my opinion, the most important part of your demographic is the psychographic aspect of it. What do they think about?
Okay.
What do they like? What do they care about? So like, yeah, you can target where they're at, how old they are, those type of things. But the content of who that person is has more to do with their minds. You know what I'm saying? So it might end up being like things that aren't at the top of your mind. You know what I'm saying? It might be something like, just to give an example, his audience, that maybe they need to smoke weed in order for, you know what I'm saying? And that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with music, but it's still a part of who his audience is. You see what I'm saying?
And so like things that they like. So like if you're like a weed smoker or something like that, like you can target people who follow Snoop or wallpapers or things like that. People you can target specific like down to what they like, all the way down to that the science of what they think, what they feel. because every transaction is emotional. So if you think about those things, what are common themes between people who what are things that they probably follow? They probably follow LeBron. They probably follow some type of sports media. They probably follow some type of sports brand, clothing, Nike, Under Armour, something along those lines. So, but there was something that Keith said about the social medias, about like, outside of just promoting yourself, make sure it gives a clear, authentic, like introduction to who you are. Right. So that was brought to me probably like 10 years ago. And one of my mentors came to me and was like, isn't you see how it's kind of like fucked up when, you know, you look at Trayvon Martin or any of these people who die, and then we go look on their social media, and then that's how they're remembered. Oh, he smoked weed, he did this and that. So he asked me, he said, yo, if you died tomorrow and they went to your page, does that represent who you were? And from there, I thought completely different about what I put. You will never see me smoke. I smoke big gas. You will never see me do that on social though. Because like, God forbid I do that and a cop actually gun me down. Guess what they're gonna say? Oh, he was a pothead. And not that it justifies it, but it just gives them room to be able to say, so what would I want them to see about me? I want them to see, all right, I'm a father. I want them to see I'm a business owner. I want them to see that I care about this, that, and the third. You know? But yeah, like, put the things that you want, because you're in control of that. Why would you do anything to harm your image? You know how stupid it is for people to be posting their prices and that they can drop it off to you any time of day. Like, you know how many people promote to you on there because they selling. You don't think other people watching too? You know what I mean? Like,
and here's the other thing. Like with me, I know. Yes, I'm older, so
you don't say.
I'm older, right? So, but I understand. What I want to be able to do is that you guys, the young dudes, they say, well, let's see what OG is talking about. Because my thing is, I want to give words of wisdom. And this is what I've been through. Here's how I fucked up. I don't want you to make the same mistake I made. So I want you to look and say, let me see what OG is saying. And say, okay, I'm following what OG is saying. Yeah. But I also have people that are my age and going, oh man, I don't want to put on the music. And they're going, I got a lot of older guys coming and going, yo, dude, you're putting out music, man. Now I'm motivated to put out my music. So I'm motivating two different people. I'm talking to my generation and I'm talking to your generation as well. But I'm not preaching to you. I'm saying to you, yo, here's the mistakes I made. Don't do what I did. Y'all got more. Y'all could do better than me. And if you want to do better, come talk to me. I can walk you through it. Yeah. And that's what that's about with me. That's what I try to do. And I try to do inspiration. People have inspiration. Like I'm doing the 30-day thing of my albums that affected me in my lifetime. But I'm engaging. Hey, name your album. And so what you doing? I'm getting engaged. Oh, I love this album. And I'm having fun with it. I'm at the park playing. Yeah. So that's the way I look at social media. You know,
make it represent you and who you are. And don't be afraid to archive stuff. Don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid to change. Like, you know how, like we work with a client right now where we might, like they might post something and then we might look at it and be like, it aligns, keep it, or it doesn't align, delete it.
Take it off.
Right. Take it off, right? Yeah. Then have a whole meeting about what alignment is and then go back to the field and do it again. Like before this, I have a whole political life. I've done stuff on Biden's 2020 campaign. I ran for office, wrote books. I've done a lot of stuff in the political field. You ran for office? I was the youngest person running Delaware's history.
Okay, I did not know.
2020, I ran for state rep. So I have all that on there, and then
that was something I knew what you about you all the time.
and then my boy G Millie ran, like when I first moved down here, he's like, why do you have all this political shit on your page? I was like, bro, I did cool shit. And I swear to this day, the smartest thing this man, the only smart thing he's ever said to me, he said, do more cool shit. And then we created TMC. So,
yeah. And to that point too, like you can also post who you want to be at some point.
Type shit.
Like
speak that into existence. You gotta speak that into existence.
Like, absolutely. I think I had this reel I posted one time. I was like, man, I just want to get out of my city, bro. And then immediately, like, I'm traveling and going to different places. So like, people are gonna support that energy that you put out. That's right. So like,
and they pull for you.
Yeah, they
they're
will.
pulling for you.
Yeah.
They go like, yo, man, yo, keep doing your thing.
Or like, hey, yo, actually, I got something in LA, bro. You should slide here. I've been watching you for years. It's my first time commenting.
Yeah.
But that stuff happens.
You know how many people, especially artists, get caught up with the the misconception that it needs to look like I'm always doing something lit.
Right.
Right. So I know artists that will literally go pay for bottles and sections knowing damn well they don't got it.
Right.
Right. And do that because their Instagram looks lit. And I know but does it really, right? Because there's like so much beauty in the baby steps and in the process. Show them that you have writer's block. Show them that you're saying, like, bro, I would wake up and I would see this dude fucking doing breakfast and beats.
Right, yeah,
and I don't produce.
Right.
And I'm sitting there like I knew I was into it when I was like, this nigga eating a toaster strudel, what the fuck is he listening to? And I'm sitting there watching him.
You're watching it.
And I'm watching him.
Me too.
So I hit Ari up and I'm like, yo, we gotta do this in real life.
And
We gotta do this in real life.
And to that point, bro, like, even just that. It was day one. Day one making beats. The beats were so ass, bro.
You can definitely see progression in the
day
beats.
40, day 45. It's like, damn. Like, wow, you can see
By that, you can see it, you can hear it, and then now you realize, because like, they're not gonna lie. As a consumer, there's gonna be those certain days you're just gonna swipe past it. Oh, it didn't catch it. But then then this one, oh, it's a little different right here, and then it catches your attention. Same thing with a song when you listen to it on YouTube. You don't know exactly why you skipped it within the first 7.
Right.
Because you just didn't feel. But then there's those ones on there, and then now that I know he's in that pocket, he can make those beats. As an artist, I could be like, yo, can I? You know what I mean? Can I buy some beats like this, or I need more beats like that? I have a producer in Russia right now. He's trying to get me to drop a project that we did like on his songs.
Russia?
And yeah, like random. I did a song on it, and me and Fob did a visual for it, and he messaged me, and then he was like, yo, here's some more beats. And he's like asking me what type of stuff. And I was like, bro, you sent me a whole beat pack. I like the stuff you post on your story. And now he replaced my whole beat pack with his story stuff.
And the other thing, there's a thing when you go on your thing, you see is view insights.
Yeah.
Well, I view the insights. The interesting thing for me that I like to look at, the non-followers.
Yes.
Right.
And when I look, I go, okay, when I get a whole lot of non-followers looking, okay, that means they're interested. I'm
Right.
piquing their interest. They haven't followed me yet, but they're watching. And that's all I need I just want them to watch.